Hey there, everyone. We're going to get started here in probably the next 15, 30 seconds. Just want to give anyone who's run a minute late here a little bit of a chance to get in. My name is Lewis Butler. I'm the sales manager here at Simple Ray. Today we're going to be going over the Illinois Adjustable Block Program and specifically the lottery process, which may or may not happen. If you need to get a hold of me, there's my email, lewisbutler@simpleray.com. There's my phone number, 419-770-4622. We've done a couple of these on the Adjustable Block Program. Always get a lot of great questions from customers, potential customers, other sales reps at other companies. If you want to talk to me, maybe you're looking for a little bit more information, would love to talk to you about solar. I've been talking to people from utility companies as they try to decipher what's going on in these programs. So feel free to reach out to me. You can also go to our website, simpleray.com. A lot of information there. Highly recommend that you go there, and I'll give you even more ways to get in touch with us. I think there's a chat box down there at the bottom. We love talking to people about solar and all the ways that we can help you save money. So we'll go ahead and get started. A little bit too far there. So what are we going to be covering today? We're going to be talking about the Adjustable Block Program. We're going to be talking about some important dates that we feel we want to hit coming up here. We're going to cover the lottery process, and then I'm going to spend just a little bit of time on why I think 2019 is a really good year to go with solar, especially in Illinois. What is the Adjustable Block Program? In the state of Illinois, they have a goal of 25% of the electricity being produced from renewable resources by 2025. And so the Adjustable Block Program is a piece of that and to help and encourage more renewables going in, specifically solar. So the Adjustable Block Program is an initiative to encourage the installation of more solar projects. So these are small projects, large projects, and then even larger projects, if you can believe it or not. So how does it work? The utility company is going to pay you for installing solar, and those payouts are based upon how big your system is, how much production you think it's going to have, and then when you install it, and a few other factors. So there's a limited amount of funds, and there's some specific deadlines that we're going to cover. But the thing to keep in mind is that these incentives can cover anywhere from 30 to 60% of the cost of the system. So when you stack those up with the 3% federal tax credit, as well as any depreciation on the commercial end of things, you can basically pay for 80 to 100% of the system if you have all those incentives line up for you correctly. And that's a conversation that you'd want to have with one of our renewable energy consultants about how things would look like, or what things would look like for you. So who's paying for the ABP, or the Adjustable Block Program? A lot of people are worried that the state of Illinois does not always have the best financial outlook there, and they're worried that the state doesn't have the money to pay these incentives. But the good news is the payout actually is not coming from the state itself. The Illinois Power Agency is helping to set up and has hired a program administrator. But technically speaking, the money is coming from the utility companies. It's going to be coming from Ameren, it's going to be coming from ComEd, be coming from those sources. So this is not tax money. We are not dependent upon government financing these things. The money has already been set aside. So that should help alleviate that concern for a lot of people. So the utility companies that I just said that are participating, if you're on Alliant, if you're on ComEd, if you're on Mid-American, you are definitely included in this program. And if you're on another supplier, maybe Constellation, or you have a different contract, those companies still use the distribution of Alliant, ComEd, and Mid-American, so you can still qualify for the Adjustable Block Program. Municipalities and co-ops are in this weird space right now, in that as the law is written today, everyone is included. ComEd has challenged in the Second District Court that municipalities and co-ops were not intended as part of the Adjustable Block Program the way it's written. So they've challenged this with the ICC. They challenged it when the draft plan came out from the IPA a little over a year ago. And almost at every turn, we've been told, or they've been told, municipalities and co-ops get to be included. So we don't have an answer right now or whether they will or won't be included. As the law is written today, they are, but there's a possibility of the court coming back in the next, say, 4 to 6 weeks before the end of the year, before the program opens on the 15th to give us a definitive answer whether or not they'll be included. So what we're suggesting to people who are on these municipalities and co-ops, we're suggesting that you reach out, we put together a proposal for you, we make an estimate based upon what we think your payment would be, and then if it turns out that you can be included in the adjustable block program, great, we can go ahead, we can get paperwork ready to file, and it cuts down the amount of back and forth that we need to do later on in the year as these deadlines approach. So if it's something that you know that you want to do and you want to take a good hard look at, go ahead, reach out to us. We'll put you in touch with someone, get your utility bills ready, and we'll come out and design a system for you. So here's the information on the different blocks, and you'll notice there's Group A and Group B, and then there's small, there's large, small, and large for each of them, and then there's Block 1, Block 2, and Block 3. So a lot of our focus is making sure that people who want to install an array are able to get in and get this highest payout in Block 1. Because if you notice, every time we go from Block 1 to Block 2 to Block 3, these incentives keep going down. So, you know, here's the size of the system AC that gets installed, here's the amount of the incentive. So, you know, Ameren has a slightly different payout than what ComEd has. And what is Block 1? Block 1 is a set amount of capacity or an amount of solar that's going to be installed that's going to get this incentive. And after that amount gets installed, in theory, it will go to Block 2. And after a similar amount of solar is installed on the grid, it will go to Block 3. So the more solar that gets installed, the lower the incentive is going to get. On Group A, the Ameren Mid-American block, they've allotted for 22 megawatts AC in Group A. And if you're in the ComEd block, they've allotted for 52 megawatts AC. What's going to happen, though, is this program or this law has been in effect since June of 2017. So we're going on basically a year and a half now of people who've been able to sign up for systems, or in some cases actually even installed systems, waiting for this program to open. And we don't have a clear idea in some of these groups about how much solar has actually been sold and how much of this incentive people are going to apply for. You'll notice on this graph, we're not even talking about community solar. We don't deal in the community solar space nearly as much as we deal in the residential and large commercial space. That program is oversubscribed by a lot. We're not even talking about that. And on the small system size, say a residential system, 10 kW and less, that's a lot of systems to be installed. So we don't think that these small categories are going to be going to the lottery. So for us, the thing that we're really focused on is, say, you know, we deal a lot in the ag space. We deal a lot in the commercial space, whether it's a welding shop or a car wash or a meat packing facility. They're going to end up in this large block, and we don't know how many people are going to apply. And so therefore, we're trying to make sure that all of our customers are in a position on January 15th to take advantage of this highest payout that they can. And so we'll talk about the lottery here in a second. So that's when we talk about Group A, Group B, Block 1, Block 2, Block 3. These are the numbers that we're referencing and we're building into our proposals that we're sharing with people. So how does this lottery work? In Block 1, there's a certain amount of capacity. And what Incline, the program administrator, and the IPA have come out and said, and I should stress, this isn't their draft plan of what the lottery is going to look like. They're going to be finalizing this in the coming weeks. If we reach 100% capacity, that's great. Everyone's going to get Block 1 pricing. If it goes to 150% of what they've estimated or what they've allocated for capacity, that's great. Everyone's going to get Block 1 pricing. If twice as many people show up during those first 2 weeks when the program's open, that's great. Everyone's going to get Block 1 pricing. So they're willing to double the capacity of that first block. And what's going to happen is they'll immediately skip from Block 1 to Block 3 if that happens, if they hit that 200% threshold. So you can see there's, you know, a 5 to 10% decrease in the amount of the incentive that's going to be coming back. If over 200%, or if double the capacity plus shows up when the program opens on January 15th, the program administrator, Incline, and the IPA have laid out a draft plan that it's going to go to a lottery. And so what's going to happen in that lottery is everyone will have a chance to submit their application. The application window will be open for 2 weeks. And then if it's going to go to a lottery, there's an additional 3 weeks on the back end of that for people to fix any issues they had with their application or to clarify anything with the program administrator. And then, in a very public way, they're going to run all of the projects through an algorithm, and everyone's going to get a number and is going to get ranked. So project 1 will automatically get in, and they'll go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 until they reach 200% capacity. And in that event that they reach 200% capacity, then everyone else will automatically be put in line for block 3. So if you don't get in during those first 2 weeks, if it does go to a lottery, then you go online. If you decide not to apply during those 2 weeks and it goes to a lottery and you just wait, then you're going to go behind. You're going to go behind the line of everyone in block 1 who would have been in block 2, block 3, and then you'll be at the bottom of that list. Then it'll be a first come, first serve. So this is why we're really advocating for people and taking advantage of these incentives. Get a proposal from us, have the engineering work done, give us some time to go back and forth with the utility company, and then as an approved vendor, we can submit the application as early as possible and make sure that there are no issues and all the questions from the IPA and the program administrator have been answered. Another piece to applying for the program on January 15th is being an approved vendor. So over the coming weeks, a lot of people out there are going to be going through the process of becoming an approved vendor. The approved vendor process opened 5 days ago. So I'll give a shout out to our team back in the office, who some of you may have talked to. Jerry and Christian and Ashley and a whole team of people are back there making sure that we've gone through the process to become an approved vendor. But if you want that payout, you need to make sure that you're working with an approved vendor. So even if you don't go with Simple Ray, you need to be asking these questions of whoever you're working with. And if their eyes gloss over, it might be worth talking to someone else or just giving us a call and asking us for a little bit of advice there. We want to make sure that solar has a good name in Illinois, and anything we can do to help promote the industry we would like to do. So if you have questions, please reach out to us. So I mentioned at the beginning, 2019 is a very good year to go with solar. One of the reasons is that we've looked at the incentive for the adjustable block program and from the utility companies is likely never to be higher than it is right now. The other thing is 2019 is the last year for the federal tax credit to be 30%. Starting in 2020, that incentive level starts to go down. So if you're looking at installing solar, we can apply in January, and we've been writing contracts such that we'll only proceed if you get into the adjustable block program. So we can make sure that you have that contingency built in. And then we have 12 months to get that system built and installed. And then once we get it installed, they can disperse that payment. And there's a few differences on how and when that payment will be dispersed. But 2019, you can max out all of the current benefits. So something we really think is worth taking a good hard look at. And this is where let us know what your particular situation is, and maybe you have a lot of capital investments coming up this year. Maybe we offer a power purchase agreement, or maybe there's some other financing option we can talk to you about that can still make sense given how high and how wonderful these incentives currently are. As we mentioned a few times, this January 15th date is when the application window opens for Incline for us to apply for our customers for the adjustable block program. And the team in the office is going to be waking up bright and early that day and just submitting application after application. We've been going back and forth with utility companies. We feel really ready for that date. And that's our best chance to get into that first block. So we got 14 days to get applications in during that window that we know we will definitely have a good shot of getting into that first block. What we're asking is for people to start making decisions by or before November 15th. That's going to give us 2 months to do some work on our side. We're going to be able to make sure we have financing lined up if we need to. We're going to make sure that we can go back and forth with the utility company and file interconnection paperwork if we need to. And given how popular this program is going to be, we want to give the utility companies that extra cushion as well, so they don't feel necessarily rushed in getting back to us. The holidays are coming up, so if you just think about holidays and the increased demand on the utility companies, we don't want to hope for a 2-week turnaround on any of this paperwork. So we want to make sure we have everything buttoned up, sealed up, ready to go, and give us plenty of time to at least breathe for a second before that January 15th deadline. So if you have a proposal in hand and you're watching this, reach back out to your renewable energy consultant, ask them, what your project is looking like, and let us know what we need to do to help keep that project moving forward, even if it is just giving us the preliminary go-ahead to start doing some of these paperwork filings, and then we can start looking at what a decision looks like a little bit later on. So with that, we're going to happily take some questions here. I want to thank the whole team who helped me put this presentation together. If this looks easy and wonderful, I am but a small piece here. So it looks like there's a couple of questions sitting here already. The first one is from Scott. He actually, I think, left it before we even started the webinar. What is the cost of the program for me to be involved with it? There is no real cost to be involved with the adjustable block program. The only cost that there really is some filing paperwork with the utility company if we need to, and there is a small fee to apply with the incline, which is based upon the size of your system. So there's a few different things we can talk about in there, but it's a very small amount of money in comparison to how much money you will be getting back on the other end of it. Gentleman named Carl asked a very good question. When would we receive payouts from the program? The payouts are going to come either all in year one. So if it's under 10 kW, that will all be paid out in year one. If it's larger than 10 kW in the draft plan that they finalized, it's going to come out over the course of 5 years in 20% increments. So as soon as the system gets turned on and all the paperwork gets finalized, there'll be a 20% payment, and then it's 20% per year after that. And in the draft plan, they've recommended doing quarterly payments. I've yet to see what the contract looks like from the utility company's side that's actually to be paying out the money, but we expect that to be paid out roughly during that time frame. Francis Graves asked the question, is this for people with money, or if people with limited resources or fixed income, can they apply as well? There is a little bit of a cost to installing solar. We do have some good residential financing options for people who qualify. In businesses, we have a variety of options, whether it be some sort of capital lease, which works like a loan, or if you don't have the tax liability, but you are interested in going with solar, there are some options. We call it an RC energy lease. So please talk with your renewable energy consultant, and we can usually find a solution in many cases for a lot of people. Does my array need to get installed to get the program payment? Yeah, your array will have to be installed and turned on and functioning in order to get that payment, and needs to keep functioning for the next 15 years. So that adjustable block program payment is based upon your projected production over those 15 years. And so this is why having an approved vendor is so important, because if your system doesn't produce what is submitted to the IPA, ultimately someone's going to be on the hook to repay the utility company that money. So we definitely don't want that to be us or our customers. So any production numbers that we're putting out there, we're feeling very confident about. We don't have to go back and try to explain why we took more money from the utility company than what we needed. Jed asked, do we have any experience with REAP grants or loans in Illinois? We do have a grant writer that we work with, and a few guys on the team have been working with him to submit REAP grant applications. As a matter of standard operating procedure, we don't include REAP grants in all of our proposals. In some areas, it's a very competitive process. So that's something that you should definitely reach out and talk with myself or another renewable energy consultant about. Make sure that we're maximizing the score for those grants to give you the greatest chance possible of securing that money when we're designing the system. So it's definitely something we have some experience with, but it's not something we want to overpromise and underdeliver on for a lot of our customers. So as long as you understand what you're getting yourself into, we can help you out with that process. There's a question here. Will another company handle your collection and distribution of the payouts? What is their commission? From Rand Veerman here. We do not currently plan to work with another aggregator, which I think is what this question is asking. We plan to work directly with the utility company and disperse those payments as we need to, or as we work through all this with our customers. So if that doesn't 100% answer your question, please let me know there, and I'd be happy to talk with you about that offline. Another question, do we offer PPA installations for 10 kW DC or less? We're not currently offering PPAs for systems of that size. We do have a 25-year loan program, which we think is very competitive and should allow a lot of people to have a monthly payment that will be at or below, in most cases, what their utility bill is looking like. And in that one, I believe there's also no prepayment penalty. So it's not a PPA, but we think it's a very good option. A gentleman named Rob asked, and you mentioned agriculture is a better fit than residential. Can you explain more? I am a farmer. So residential, agriculture, and commercial are all great fits for solar. I want to be very clear about that for everyone who's listening. We just happen to work with a lot of farmers. As a company, we started in Iowa, and now we're working throughout the Midwest, Missouri, and Illinois, and a lot of these states. Whether it's a hog barn or something like that, one of your fixed costs or one of your, variable costs every year is how much energy you're going to be using. Maybe you're running some grain bins. And in Illinois, you have net metering, which allows you to capture production over the summer and then use that overproduction during the summer. During the fall, maybe when you're running a lot of fans or some grain bins. And so it's a really good way to help mitigate some of those costs that you have on an annual basis. So we're really happy to talk to people about their particular use case and how we can design a system for that environment. Hog confinement environments tend to be pretty harsh on a lot of the components. And so we have a lot of experience designing systems for that use case that we feel very confident in to make sure that system is going to withstand anything that is thrown at in that environment. There's another question about information on the co-ops. Is there another site where I can get information on the court case filed by ComEd? I'm hoping we have your email information. If not, Rand, I'll try to reach out to you after this webinar is over. I don't know the docket number off the top of my head. I'm a little bit hesitant to pull it up here as I chat with you. If I can, I have it bookmarked somewhere, but if we don't get the answer to you today, please reach back out and we'll make sure that we can send you to that docket number. All the briefs have been filed in that case. The only thing that's left to do is for the judge to make a ruling, we're hoping. That's a lot of questions. There's a question for Rob. What about big grain elevators? Big ones, so I'm assuming they're big. He also serves on an elevator co-op board, and are they a fit? So here's probably a good point to say, even if people aren't going to qualify for the adjustable block program, what really matters is how much energy are you using and how much are you paying for that energy, and what is the policy of your local utility company. And so this applies not just in Illinois, but every state that we work in. I went and did a proposal for a large grain elevator, and they were paying, I want to say, somewhere between 12 and 15 cents per kilowatt hour. And they're using, we could have put in a couple meg site for them and not even touch their usage. And their payback looked really good. It was still under 5 years, if not better. And so even if you're not going to qualify for the adjustable block program, it's still worth doing a proposal and working through this with our engineering team to see what this payback might look like and see if it's going to meet your financial goals or your environmental goals for that matter. A lot of really good questions today. You think you have answers, and I have a whole sheet of things here that I think that people are going to ask, and my best answer kind of thought out ahead of time, and we always get new creative questions, which I enjoy quite a bit. I'm going to take this opportunity to take a drink, and we'll. So Rob asked, how do we get started? That's a great question. You can reach out to me, Lewis Butler at simpleray.com. I'll get you in touch with a renewable energy consultant. If you go on our website, you can submit your information to us that way. And then what our consultants are going to do is we're going to go get we're going to ask you for the last 12 months of your energy usage. We'll build a profile of how much energy you're using and when you're using it. We'll take a look at your utility company policy. And one thing that we like to do is we like to come meet with you on the actual site where the array might be installed, and then we can look at what electrical service you have. We can look at what your specific setup looks like to make sure we're accounting for any sort of issues in your system, or if it's going to be a really simple, clean install, so we can give you the best possible price out of the bat. We're not in the habit of sending out thousands of proposals with your entire roof covered with panels that don't account for AC units on top of it, or maybe there's, you know that a certain segment of your property floods every year, and it's not going to be a good candidate. We try to get it right the first time with our engineering team, so we're not coming back to you time and time again. So the consultative approach that we take is really an important way for us to make sure that we're doing the best possible thing for our customers. We will keep looking through the questions here. We'll give everyone another minute or two. I'm going to take a drink of water here. So I strongly encourage, if you still have a lot of questions about how the program and how it works, I think we've been doing these, this is I think the 4th webinar we've done on it. I'm sure we'll do another one once the adjustable block program opens here in the spring. I think this looks like most of our questions for now. Again, you can reach me on my cell phone. I'm sure I'm going to get a call 6 months from now. Someone asks me a question. I can't wait for it. 419-770-4622. You can go to our website, simpleray.com. You can email us, lewisbutler@simpleray.com, hello@simpleray.com. We are out there on so many platforms. You should follow us on Instagram. You should follow us like us on Facebook. We love solar. We eat, we breathe it. We just can't get enough of it. Can't wait to hear from you guys. I'm going to end the webinar, but we look forward to continuing a lot of these conversations with you. Thanks.